You're not behind. You're right on time. It can seem like your life has this narrative, right? Maybe your pain has told this same story. You're just waiting for the shoe to drop. You feel like you have to be prepared, you have to be ahead, you have to be constantly aware of your surroundings to make sure that it doesn't happen the same way that it seems to always happen for you. It's like your life has always gone this one way. Like it says in the word, goodness and mercy follows me all the days of my life, but you've felt like it's been the opposite. You felt like misery has followed you, pain has followed you, trauma has followed you, confusion, fear. I understand. He's gonna make up for it. It's not ending here. And it's not gonna be something, this is the good news. It's not gonna be something that gets put on your shoulders. It's not something that you are responsible for. It's not something that you must know what to do. It's going to be taken care of for you. You're going to see that he's been on your side the entire time. You were unaware of it. You didn't understand why he was taking you this way. It's been the same with me. I feel like I've been held down just like my entire life. I felt so small, so covered up, so buried. But I see now that in the curse, there was a blessing. In the disadvantage, there is an advantage. You just don't see it yet, but you will. And it's not something that you have to be convinced of. Not by me anyway, not by any person. If you see with me, the style that I have, I'm not giving you advice. I'm not giving you things to apply. This is a safe place to just be, right? You don't even have to pay attention to me really, right? But if the Lord led you to this video, he has something to say because he's faithful. It's not something you have to constantly be aware of. You have to fast and you have to pray and you have to do these religious gymnastics just to be in receptive mode. No. You're receiving right now. And it's just peace. It's just assurance. It's this, you're not behind. You're right on time. You're right on time to what he has for you. You are prepared for what he has for you because of who he is. Not because of anything on your resume, not because of anything that you see yourself as. You are identified by him, his consistency, his faithfulness, his perception of you that does not change, his delight in you. His delight in you, it never changes. This is what we really have. And this is what we've been longing for our entire lives. And we just have not realized it. See, there's been a time where he's allowed you to essentially be asleep. He's allowed you to be in confusion. He's allowed you to be in fear. He's allowed you to be in this place where you felt unstable in all your ways. It's not to leave you there. It's to show up and be the anchor for you. To show up and be the redeemer for you. To show up and be the father that you've always cried out for, but you never thought would come. Because in your own mind, you felt like, no, I have to take care of myself because no one's ever had my back. I don't know why, but they've never had my back. And maybe they have in a sense, but it's never worked out. So they've never really had my back. There's not been one person who's consistently stayed by my side. And even me, talking about you and I'm talking about myself as well, I have failed me. I am unable to be consistent. I'm unable to maintain anything. And yet I feel so burdened to keep something up, this imaginary standard, to make sure that I believe, to make sure that I am trusting God enough to just go through all of this. And he's like, you don't have to do this anymore. I'm bringing you to the end of yourself, the end of your self-parenting, the end of you feeling like you're going to run out of time, and that if you don't know what you don't know now, it's only going to go not well for you, right? You're like, yeah, I know your word says goodness and mercy follows me all the days of my life, and I'm reciting that to myself, but I don't believe it. If you're honest with yourself, you don't believe it. I don't know who I'm talking to exactly, but I feel like it's just a person who is a weary traveler, a person who has been going from one place to the next place, right? Building for a little while, having a little bit of hope, and then it's just taken down. It's just torn down. And you're like, why? But then you have just enough hope, right, to go on and start building another place. But you keep getting crushed over and over and over. And you're so, so tired. You can rest here. In this video, there's nothing that needs to be explained. I'm telling you that you're right on time because of who he is, not because of you. That you're only seeing me because he has you seeing me. He has prepared me in this way. It's all worked out already. And you're just invited to the party. You're invited to the wedding feast, and you don't have to bring anything. We have this thing, I know it's like silly or whatever, but you can be like, if I go to this party, I have to bring like at least some wine or something. There's like this invisible standard of I gotta be nice, I gotta be polite, I gotta follow these rules. But the wedding feast that you're invited to, you don't have to bring anything. There's nothing more valuable than who you are. It's not about what you know. It's not about your skills. It's not about your God-given talents, your spiritual gifts. All of that is just accents. But your essence, like who you are on the inside, he wants that. And he says, I'm inviting you. And you don't have to bring anything. And it may seem like you're running late, but you're going to get there right on time. It may seem that you're going this roundabout way and you don't understand right now, but don't worry. I'm going to make it up to you. I'm going to show you who I am. And this is what your entire life is. This is what you've been longing for, what you've tried to make up for. See, it comes with this, it's not your fault. You didn't know better. He doesn't yell at ignorance, right? He doesn't condemn ignorance. He says, you didn't know. It wasn't your time to know. You were blind for a time, but now I'm waking you up. And not because I have an assignment for you to do. That's secondary. It's not about that. It's not about what you're going to do for him on this earth. It's about how he wants to have a relationship with you, how he wants to live with you, how he wants you to enjoy him. And from that circle dance of he loves me, he loves me, he loves me, he delights in me, you are going to spin around and change the world by accident. This isn't just like affirmations for you to remind yourself. I'm speaking of the truth here. You're just unaware of it. So just receive it. You're not behind. You're right on time. All of the breaking down, all of the things coming up for you, all of the cycles, all of the I'm shipwrecked on an island and I can't get myself off of this. Yes, all of this is ordained for your life. All of it was meant for you to meet him here so that you can get to a place. More so, he gets you to a place where you just surrender it all and you say, you know what? I don't know. I don't know what you want from me. I don't know what you want to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I feel like whatever I do, it's not enough. I feel like wherever I'm going, I'm running late. I'm not prepared. And he's like, I don't need you to be any of these things. Let me take this from you. Let me take this false burden from you. You're not behind. You're right on time. Everything that he has for you, he's not holding it back so that you can behave better, so that you can get it. He's preparing you for it. That's what a good father does. He's preparing you for all the joy that he has for you, all the pleasure that he has for you, all of the peace that he has for you, your inheritance. You see, but you're just not going to get through the door believing that you got yourself there. Because if you get through the door and he puts in your hand what belongs to you, you will think that it's because you did something. And then that's just going to be a life of you toiling, you working for a wage, you saying, because I was so-and-so, because I did what I did, because I went here and I did this and I kept doing this, and because I was faithful, and because blah, blah, blah. And it's like, look, it's not to say that he negates that. No, he honors you like no man could ever honor you, because he sees you like no man has ever been able to see you before. He honors the good things that you do, but the attachment and then the weight that comes with that, he wants to do away with that, because he doesn't want you to carry that forever. He wants you to truly live and wake up in a place where you're like, this is all mine. And not because I did anything, but because of who he is. And because of who he is, then I am his. And so all of this is right. All of this is deserving. Not because of works, but because of who he is, because of his faithfulness. And that assurance that comes from he is faithful like the sunrise. Whether I look outside to see that the sun is coming up, it's still coming up. Whether you believe it or not, the truth is still the truth, and it stands on its own. Just sink into what's already here. I think this is kind of the nature of these videos maybe that I'm having, is just pull up a seat and sink into what's already here. It's not something that you have to understand. It's not this point that I'm trying to get across. I'm not giving you 7 ways to have a better relationship with God. I'm not giving you all of these things that you can do so that you can measure your progress, so that one day you can feel like enough and you don't feel like you're, this shortcoming, like you're just coming up short. No. The truth is, you're right on time. You're not behind. You are as you ought to be right now. Let this hit you. Let this hit you and just receive.